John here, guys, and today we're gonna talk about the Texas Championship track.
Holy dog shit, Texas!
This was a track that was developed by veteran track designer Neil N.M. Grower, Catalyst Machine Works team pilot, in conjunction with up and coming track designing prodigy Matt Max and top racer Yvonne, pilot name Lamone. So the goal behind the Texas Championships was carefully design a track that integrated a lot of sophisticated racing obstacle elements that have been developed in the Houston test bed track community, and to string them together in a track that was, easy to set up, had clear measurements that we could distribute to all of Texas, and then essentially race against each other. Now, MultiGP is a wonderful, amazing grassroots community that has been doing a good job of running the regionals, the qualifying series, and then the nationals. But what we're finding is they're just overwhelmed by all of the responsibility that's being put on their shoulders, and so they really need some of the chapters to take this out. So there's going to be no regionals this year. It's going to be there's no regional finals. It's going to be the regional qualifying, and then they're going to seed those people and they're going to go straight to nationals. So what can we do to fill in some of that gap to get some inter-community racing competition going? Well, this is it. So they measured out this track carefully, published it. It's on both major simulators, Velocidrone and Liftoff, and you can practice it before you go. We ran our first run of this. I think we're gonna do another one. I'm gonna show some footage. I ended up coming out like 8th place. I struggled. I blew up my quad, my brand new racing build, but it's been a great experience to see this unfold. Other Texas chapters have already started trying it. They're getting it on the schedule, and other chapters outside of Texas are even expressing some interest in being able to try this track. Now, it's awesome when you take the time, not just to set up a track, set it up, fly it, go home, because then you can rank 20 to 30 pilots. But if you take the time to get the measurements, publish them out so that other tracks can set up an identical track, or other communities, then you can really have a race across the entire nation. So Johnny Fly up in Detroit has been talking about, having that track set up there so he can race against us down here in Texas. And that's what it's all about, guys. The community going that extra mile. That's all that MultiGP does. So we can all do this as well. Then we can race each other, have these events, see how we stack up to chapters in other cities. And Cowtown Racing up in Dallas, they also released a track recently that was like a St. Patty's Day theme. It was a Clover. We just ran it this weekend. I ended up getting 2nd place, and by the next morning we were able to compare just how we did against those Dallas pilots. So other chapters are starting to take note. So great job on that, Cowtown. You guys did a phenomenal job of designing this track. It was a very fun track. We had a great time flying it, and we appreciate all the work that you did to not only design a great track, but documenting the setup, the measurements of the track, so that we could set it up and compare against you. So if anybody wants to fly that track as well, you're definitely glad to do so. Now that's an instance where, you know, we can compare and benchmark each other. The Texas Championship Series is going to be an actual series. We're going to have a finals at some point, and that's just something that you can do within the MultiGP infrastructure by creating the events in MultiGP, but your chapters can create your own level of inter-community racing action to go on. So here's some video of some of my runs. I'll try to include some other people's runs on both of these tracks, the Cowtown and the Texas Championship, but very exciting. I've included the Texas Championship track in my liftoff review so that people all across liftoff who are even in other countries can try their hand and see how they're doing. And we're getting some really low times on the simulators and some really fantastic times in real life. So far, my lowest time in the sim on liftoff is 15.5 seconds for a lap. And I want to say my lowest time in real life was about 17.1 seconds. So I'm slightly faster on the sim, but I found it much easier to actually fly consistently in real life. Very fun. But take note, what are you guys going to do to publish tracks in your cities that we can try down here in Texas? We'd love to try it. We'd love to benchmark ourselves against you. And let's see who ends up winning the Texas Championship Series. Hopefully I can make it to the finals. Thanks, guys.
Listen, I'll prove it.
The stars at night are big and bright.